Warning: this podcast may contain explicit content. Parental approval advised. Welcome to another episode of Speed Limit Podcast, and shout out to the Daily Deviate, the number one newspaper in our Deviate Delight server. Welcome to my 7th episode of Speed Limit Podcast, and my statement from the last episode is that I won't upload my outro anymore. But I remember my first episode, I said that it's only going to be from time to time. And I have been uploading them every single episode. So I think I'm going to stick to that first plan. And I'm still going to create my own SoundCloud account for my music and upload it there. So if anyone just wants to listen to the music over and over, they have that option. So our guest today is a Night Elf Druid Alliance, and he's the guild leader of the Red Army. And he also created the promotional videos in our server. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Just search Deviate Delight promotional videos in YouTube and it'll pop out. He also has multiple characters in Faralina server. So we talked about that a little bit, and I had fun talking to him. So please welcome Kisa.
It says, you give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish. You give him
Going good.
Good.
I'm just thinking, I've never actually talked in the Discord, like the personal chat, so I'm not sure how it looks like. And let me actually take, let me put the headset on, so this way there won't be any echo.
Sure.
Okay, check.
Hello.
Okay, nice. I can hear you very well.
Awesome. How's it going, man?
Going good. How should I call you? Speedy, or should I call you?
Just speed limit. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So, you're from Russia, huh?
Yeah, I live in USA, but I'm from Russia.
Oh, okay, cool. Where part?
The northwest. So it's I don't think a lot of people, especially from America, would know what Russian city is. So you should just northwest.
Okay.
Very small town called Vologda.
That's interesting, man. How long have you been in U.S.?
I've been here for 4 years, for just basically college, but I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
We'll see. Food in Russia is much better than in the United States. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for the food.
Yep.
So.
Of course, man. Yeah, I remember. I'm originally from I was born in Philippines, and
Nice.
and after a while of, I think it was like some 18 years that I haven't been there, and after a while, like maybe like 4 years in, same in your situation, I've been craving a lot of food that I miss from Philippines, that isn't the same here.
Yeah.
And it's probably kind of similar to you.
Yeah, that's what that's why there are a lot of things that are good in the United States, and there are a lot of things that are not so good, and one of them is food. So
Yeah.
food, like you can get some good food if you go to like Whole Foods, but if you are from normal public, it's very hard to find a good food. So
Sure. And what is the main cuisine that you miss the most? I'm not familiar with Russian food at all. What's the basic structure of? Sure.
So obviously I just love food in general. So it's kind of a hard question for me, but it's like there are special Russian pancakes like crepe.
Okay,
And
I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
Jack, иди на место. My dog starts to bark. Is there?
That's
I
fine.
room is just at home. I hope it's not going to be disturbing too much. Jack, иди на место. Иди на место. Okay, good. I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering what's the
Sorry,
hold?
I'm chewing some tapioca.
Oh, okay. So
Sorry.
that's the Filipino food, or what's it called? Or what cuisine is this you're eating right now?
Oh, it's well, we it's it's part of a drink that I just made. It's called boba tea. It's basically like cream with a tea with sugar, and underneath is like a bunch of tapioca pearls.
I'm a big fan of tea and everything, and I'm currently drinking Irish tea, but I used to buy a lot of Chinese tea, and that's one of the ways to legally get high is to just put a bunch of like hardcore tea,
Uh huh.
and actually in Russia a lot of people in prisons that's what they do is that they put like a bunch of tea bags and then they mix it with like lemon and with like special vegetables and then it turns out to be a super energetic drink and it can hit you up much stronger than any coffee.
Oh
So
wow. Well, yeah,
yeah.
because the equivalent for 1 cup of coffee is like 4 regular tea, as far as caffeinated goes. I think that's
Yeah,
what it is. But
let me switch real quick to the press to talk
oh,
because
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
neighbor just came back and they.
No problem, no problem.
That's also another thing about America is that the walls in most of the apartments are so tiny. It's like
Yeah.
paper wall. I'm
So,
pretty sure in
okay.
Philippines it's not. I'm not sure how it's in Philippines, but in Russia
Hmm.
it's like the walls they're super thick.
Hmm.
So it's because of the winter and everything. You gotta have very thick walls. So
Sure.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you like close the door, it usually means you can't hear anything from outside and for people from the inside. So it's like it's almost like a studio, like a musical
Oh,
studio.
wow.
In
That'd be perfect for talking.
yeah, that's why that you can hear some funny compilations of CS:GO players, from Russia. You can hear it. Most of them have very good, like no echo at all. They
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
suka, and there's no echo. There's like perfectly bad words because of that because the walls are actually very thin and there are a lot of like carpets on the walls so to
Yeah.
make it more warm. It's the perfect environment for the sound recording. Perfect environment for the YouTubers and podcasters and all of that.
Sure.
By
Yeah.
the way, how many podcasts have you made already?
Interviewed one of the guild leaders in Horde server, Momo Man.
I think I've heard about Momo.
Mhm.
I know about bacteria for sure,
Yep.
but
Bacteria. Yep. Yep.
other than that, I don't know a lot of. We've made a bunch of events with the Thunderhook tribe.
Yes.
Pretty cool touring guild. I like them a lot. And then I think the Night Witches, they went on a couple of our events as well.
Hmm. Is that when you recorded the events and the videos and you edited and you created this promotional video? Is that one of them?
Yeah, that's the thing is that that's what like I have a bunch of characters on different realms, and
Hmm.
every single time when I'm in group with someone like on Fairlina on other big high populated servers or even low populated servers,
Hmm.
they're always thinking. Many players don't even know about the kind of relationship that people can have in the WoW Classic community. And
Hmm.
the thing is, like, it's a good saying. That's what you give is what you get. And that's so it's so good when it comes to Classic. It's exactly like that. What you give is what you get. And on Fairlina, I just yesterday I logged in back to my priest. He's in the late 50s,
Hmm.
so I'm trying to get to level 60. But the thing is, questing is impossible because all of the horde they queue up for Alterac Valley or for Warson Gulch, and they go out in the open world in those like high level zones, and they keep on killing lobbies. So
Hmm.
it's impossible to quest in the zones if you're like level 40 and above.
Sure. Yeah.
But the thing is, in the dungeons, it's also impossible to go there because most of the players are either level 60s or there's like this very bad trend that people are paying gold for dungeon runs,
Hmm.
which is so ridiculous to hear on DV Delight, but on Fairlina, the server that's 10 times more has more population than DV Delight, it is so common. You go to like looking for group chat, and you go to the zones, and it's always like want to sell or want to buy Dead Mines Run, want to sell, want to buy Stockades, want to sell, want to buy ZF, and I mean Zulfarak. So it's so ridiculous to see, and people don't, they don't really communicate like on DVD lights, and the what I'm trying to do with these promotion videos is that to show more people that this classic environment, the community, is actually real if you try. If you actually communicate with people, if you I'm not talking about role play walk or like going super crazy. I'm just saying like be more humane to each other and treat each other like humans. And that's what I like about this server, and that's what I feel like, because I have a bunch of alts on different servers, and that's what I feel a lot of classic WoW servers are missing. And obviously, I'm trying also to promote my videos. I go to the forums, and on the forums, I see all the time the topics are like, this is such a bad game. People don't give a shit about each other, and there's like so and so and so and so and so. And I'm just thinking that they just don't know. They just don't know that you can actually, if you treat people around you like normal people, that's what you're gonna get the same. And that's what on DVD like. That's my experience on DVD like. That's why I like this.
Yeah, yeah, and also, and everybody in here like seems to be more engaged into RP and helping each other out, and it's like we get it. We're here and we get it, because each time that we run dungeons, we help each other out, and I think part of that is like being in an actual real RPG game. Like this is an RPG game, and people get it in this server. It's not like I'll pay you to run me. I mean, some of them do that here, but that's just like a friendly kind of interaction with somebody. Even if somebody is like broke, of course they need like a little bit of gold to they need a little bit of job to make money and make gold. But at the same time, the enjoyment and the part of that is what makes it different.
That's the reasoning. That's what they also use, the reasoning, like, oh well, time is money, friend, and you gotta pay for that. But that's the reasoning. That's what leads to this Faralina kind of servers, is where there's like 90% of all the messages in the looking for group chat is want to sell or want to buy. And then when you say that, oh, that's ridiculous, everyone said like, oh, boomer, or some other, I don't know what's trending right now, the stupid insults that nowadays people use. But that's the thing. What I'm trying to say here is that people love classic, and people were excited about classic specifically because there was no looking for group feature, and people disliked the looking for group feature, not because it was convenient, but because it's like precisely because of the convenience. It became something like people stopped giving a shit about the group. People realized that, okay, so like let's say, I don't know, there is some very bad situation happened in the dungeon, and you realize that, oh, this guy is a total idiot, and this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing, and this guy, he's like AFK half of the time. If you have something like looking for group feature, you know that you can just leave and get another group real quick. But if there is no group looking for group feature, if you actually spend so much time to get this group together, just screaming in the general chat and in Westfall or in the Barrens, and you realize that if you have a choice. You have a choice. Either you go on with this terrible group and you try to learn. Everyone tries to learn how to be better at the game.
Yeah.
You can go back to the Crossroads, or you can back to the Sentinel Hill, and you can just say,
yeah, and from my experience, based on my experience, I mean, you're 100% right there, especially in the server, and it's more of like help people. A lot of people in here are helping each other, and I had to leave in one group at one time, and I felt really bad. So I didn't just leave, because I respected the group, and man, I wish that I would have stayed and finished until the end, but I had to go. Everybody understood, which is pretty awesome. So it's like, oh, everything's all right. We can find another one. It's no problem. Even if it takes time to get here, even if it takes 30 minutes for them to get here, it's not a big deal. We can format it on the way.
So
And also, so you played in Farolina a lot then?
one of the reasons why I started to play Classic is that, I mean, before Classic, there was a beta test, and the only way to get into beta test, you either had to have a super old account, or you could watch someone who's in a beta test. So that's basically what I'm saying is that I haven't watched streamers before. I wasn't interested in Twitch, but once I heard that WoW Classic is gonna be launched and WoW going to come out in 2019, I got super interested in this topic, and I started to watch a bunch of streamers who were streaming the beta, and I realized that those people are kind of fun, and it's fun to hang around them. So I decided to, well, why not to try on Farolina? I knew that there will be madness on Farolina, and that's actually exactly what I wanted, because people were waiting for WoW Classic launch, and everyone knew that there will be queues, there will be super laggy zones, and everyone's gonna try to get this one single mob. You see, Farolina is like a New York, it's like a super big city. It's
Sure,
like the
yeah.
biggest.
Yeah.
Every single, like the most competitive people, the most nerdy people, they're gonna be there. And DVA Delight is like Las Vegas. It's like a little town with a bunch of entertainment.
Yeah.
So that's how I treat it. And I love both of the servers in their own way. Is that I would love to. It's like I would love to live in a small town, but sometimes get out in the big city.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
See how the life looks there.
Yeah, and also the Farolina, is that still kind of busy when you log in, and what time you usually log in?
Queues. I think last time there were queues was back in November. Nowadays, because a bunch of the streamers, they got tired of this game, and there's not a lot of content. So what happened on Farolina is that a bunch of streamers left to play other games until the Blackwing Lair comes out, until BWL. So once a bunch of streamers left the servers, people kind of came along. So Farolina right now is super. Like you can log in every single. I think even on Friday night, there are no queues on Friday night.
Oh wow,
But
that made a difference, huh?
yeah, but the thing is that what I don't like about the server is that it has this big town mentality. Like people don't give a shit about each other, and people run dungeons for money. I mean for gold, which is also pretty bad. It's I don't know. There is no soul in this server anymore, and the streamers they kind of gave it a little bit of soul. It's like, how would I explain? Imagine Olympic Games, and they're super active. They're super high populated during the event, right? But once the Olympics is over, it's empty. So that's how I feel about Farolina right now.
I mean, as far as the content, it's not Farolina. It's just a pure PvP, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, so on DB Delight, the balance, like the latest balance that I checked is like 60 to 40, or like maybe 65 to 35 in Alliance favor, but it still means that in the open world, there's about the same amount of Horde and Alliance coming by. I think only the only two places are like the Blackrock Mountain and maybe Gadgetson. The ones where it's imbalance between Horde and Alliance. Like there's much more Alliance near Blackrock as far as I know. So
yeah, and without that other content here, like what we have in DV Delight, they don't have RP there. So
yeah.
I mean, people don't RP in a PvP server. I mean, maybe a few, but it's not like a full RP.
And also, people here they treat this game a little bit more relaxing. Like I've noticed. So I'm a GM of the Red Army, which is the biggest leveling guild on the Alliance side, and we have so many people who are just playing this game as the way to relax, as just they don't take it seriously. They log in for like an hour or two, they run one dungeon, maybe two dungeons at the most. They do some quests together, and that's pretty much it. And that's the reason why they chose this server, is because people don't really take it as hardcore as the other servers. Like on Faralina, everyone is focused like, okay, let's get to this level 60 and let's do raids like nonstop. Raid, and then alter quality, because that's what everyone does. You know, that's how the streamer mentality, that's how the big city mentality works. Is that like fuck leveling? You know, it doesn't matter. It's boring. Let's just get to this end game content and just grind raids nonstop. But
Sure.
on
And what?
here, it's not like that.
Yeah. What? Were you in a guild? Are you in a guild then in your priest on Faralina?
Yeah. So I'm in this Olympus guild, the one
Oh,
that's
okay. That's Asmongold, Gold, obviously.
and someone else, I don't know, some other streamers also in. But since he actually, like, I don't. Again, I'm not a fan of Twitch. I just, the reason why I joined it is because it's where most of the fun is. It's like it's like big city, but at the same time, I'm not living there, so it's. I just can't visit this server from time to time. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, that's like I like the guild because like Olympus is super good when Asmon is on, but when he's offline, Olympus is pretty much a dead guild because
I see.
everyone follows what he says.
I can see that because there's a lot of times that we're kind of engaging. You know, if I'm in that server and he's on, we're all playing, and all of a sudden he logs off and like, oh, there's no more. Like, what's the point of being here? You know, it's you have people always have that.
Yeah, he's a super successful streamer, but I don't think he's a very good guild leader in the way that he doesn't have a lot of influential lieutenants around him. So it's like everything in the guild revolves around him, pretty much.
And and the officers, like, that, do they change too? Like, how often do they change if they do?
So the officers in Olympus, they just focus on the raiding pretty much. They're the ones who organize the raids, and that's all. I don't think they do anything else. They filter chat and they see who misbehaves, and that's all. But for example, in my guild, one of the first things that we did is that I actually gave power to the lieutenants, to the officers in the guild. And whenever I log off and I log in again, and I see there is a bunch of like new events going on, there is a bunch of new members, and even in our Discord, there is always like every time I miss a day in Warcraft and I come back and there's a bunch of screenshots where the people from my guild, they organize events together and they do something together. It's good to organize the guild as like how would I explain? You can't do everything alone. That's
Sure,
what I'm saying.
yeah, definitely. You gotta have little officers there here and there to kind of decide what's good for the guild and each individual, and then having him talk to those individual guild leader for like Olympus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on, and kind of get him updated into what's going on in those servers. That's the only thing that I can think of that would work, unless he ignores it, or like how we see on that. There's a lot of like videos that I've watched, and like a lot of members like don't like him, and like is this true? Like what's going on in that part?
So the guild is pretty much, it's very friendly, and obviously Asman is a good guy. He's a cool guy. He knows what he's doing. I'm just saying that he's more of a streamer, and he's good guild leader, but he's not a great guild leader. So I don't think there is like all the drama. It's mostly for the views. There's obviously not that much drama as you would think.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. And
It's all exaggerating, to be honest. The majority of the guild is still raids. It's still friendly. It's super cool to each other. It's just that, again, as a big guild, they also have the same big city mentality.
does Asmon still play, or is he doesn't play anymore? Classic.
Again, I don't watch Twitch, but last time I heard he's supposed to he only logs raids, so he does molten core, Nixia, and then maybe like on an alt character as well, and then he basically waits for BWL to come out.
I see. And as far as you're aware of Advertise, of course, the Horde side that kind of opposing him.
That was actually so much fun. I actually fought with these Advertise. Yeah, even though I was a level 48 priest, we went to what's the Torin capital? Thunderbluff. Went to Thunderbluff with the raid, and Advertise actually tried to MC me out of the cliff, from the cliff. He and but the thing is that like he failed because I had the spell, the pre-spell, which is slow fall. That's the thing, the big city mentality. They just run in and they split up, and they didn't give a shit about those who were left behind. So they run in like maybe two raids of 40 people, and then majority of the raid went to kill the boss, kill the leader of the Tauren, and then like 30 people got split off because the Horde actually tried to retaliate.
Yeah, that sounds like fun, man. And I haven't seen any like videos from Advertise. I assume it calmed down a little bit since Asmon's not like really advertising his.
What happened Twitch. There? Yeah, I think what happened there was because Advertise calmed down. Because he was banned. He got banned for like a few days on Twitch because of the like harassment. So imagine like it's whenever something weird is happening and whenever you don't know what's going on, always ask a question like, where does the money go? You know, where's the money? The Twitch, like Twitch gets a lot of money from Asmongold. It's like one of the top earners for the Twitch is Asmongold.
I believe that. Yeah,
10. He's at the most he's in top 20. I think he's in top 10. So whenever someone tries to like harass him, and whenever he actually gets mad, like not mad for the views, but actually get mad, that's not very good for the Twitch business. Especially, I'm pretty sure they also like because I know that H3 they had this phone line with Twitch. I'm pretty sure that Asmongold also has this like phone numbers of the representative of Twitch.
Oh, so. Sure, yeah.
What happened was he got super frustrated by the fact that Advertise was stream sniping him. I think he called. I mean, it's rightfully so. You know, it's totally justifiable. He called the Twitch and he said like, "Hey, this guy is clearly against the TOS and he's harassing me inside the game, and do something about it." So they temporarily banned his account, the Advertise account, and I think right now he's back, but he's not as popular as before because he can't do this to Asmongold anymore. He can't just quickly snipe him because if he does it again, he might get permanently banned.
They put out this pay to transfer, and has people in Olympus are thinking about switching to like a PvE server, especially Asmon, since to kind of avoid the situation like this happening again.
Also, obviously, Asmon is not going to do that, and I'm pretty sure that the majority of the guild are not going to do that. So there are a lot of fears on DV8 Delight, like, oh, Asmongold is transferring, oh, he's going to bring this whole stream, you know, he fucked up the Perlina server, and now he's going to fuck up our server. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen for many reasons. First, he's not going to do it because it will prove that he is like defeated, and it's going to be super bad for his reputation. And trust me, even though someone might say, "Oh, what kind of reputation?" If you talk about super popular streaming, yeah, he does have a reputation, so it's gonna hurt him in long run. He's not gonna do it. I know that there is another streamer. She made an alt on Grobulus alongside with some other like less popular streamers, and they've been happy over there because it's much less populated than Perlina. So they look at it and they see very good opportunities in Grobulus. I mean, they enjoy it.
My original characters was in Grobulus when a classic came out, but the queue times was just crazy. So we decided to switch over here.
What happened with Grobulus was it was the only one of the first 10 servers that was produced. In fact, I think it was available during the name reservation. So a bunch of people. Once they so this was the only realm that was not full during the first couple hours of Classic WoW. So the next day it was full, and a bunch of people went to Grobulus, the ones who just wanted to avoid the queues. They just wanted to play.
Yeah.
It created an environment where people just treat it as a normal PvP server, and there are a lot of attitudes like on Fair Arena. That's what I've noticed on Groblos.
Sure, yeah. And going back into the videos that you created for promotional, when did you decided to create that and kind of find your moment to kind of like, oh hey, I need to promote this since our server is so small, and I need to promote it, especially that I'm in another server that is really really high populated. How did you compare that from? Like exactly, like what's the idea of this promotional video besides?
So let me go back to the fact that actually the reason why I started to make WoW Classic videos is that I wanted to bring some philosophical part to the to WoW Classic, to the game, because WoW Classic is one of the only games that actually have super strong community, and WoW in general, like World of Warcraft, is one of the strongest communities, or at least it used to be. I don't think like retail WoW doesn't represent quite the community as it used to be. At
Sure,
least
yeah.
that's my opinion. But just WoW Classic in general, it's such a great environment, and I was thinking like it's so cool to like combine the philosophy and the game together. So and the best environment for that was also DVA Dealer, because people here they actually think about the game. They actually think about actions before doing something. So that's what role play. You know, a lot of people are scared about the role play part of Classic, and they every time when I, for example, invite some of my friends from long time ago into WoW, and they like there are a bunch of people who are scared of the role play part of the DBA deal and saying, "Oh,
Sure.
I don't know how to role play. I don't like the role play idea in general." And you know, they thinking back towards the those like gold char naked, you know, orgies and this stuff like
Yeah.
from back in the days, you know, from the memes.
Yeah, it's
So
funny.
they thinking about that when they hear role play. Most of my encounters with the Horde in the open world, they end up, we end up just going separate ways. We end up just waving, saying hi, and just go separate ways. Especially when that's the whole decision making. That's you know, that's why I'm also making those videos. Is that I want to bring the philosophy. I want to bring this part of thinking into World of Warcraft.
Yeah, and I was trying to explain about role playing to another person here. I think it was like a couple of months ago, and they did not get it. I had to actually show them, like, okay, follow me. You know, I had to walk them, like, oh, here, this gorgeous, beautiful day today. So you know, just the basic role playing is like, oh, okay. So and then they get it right away. They walked by me and they started like blurting words out that act like the player. Like the way you explained, yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with not like I don't have a problem. I don't mind people role playing. If in fact I'm encouraging this people to role play. But the way I treat it is that, you know, if you want to role play, do the role play. If you don't want to role play, don't do it. But the whole principle of this realm is that you just think before you do something. You know, that's what I'm trying to get across to people. And whenever I see all these forum threads about people who are saying like, "Oh, this is bad. Blizzard, please fix this. Blizzard, please fix that," and I realize that on DBA Delete, it's not like that. It's people don't have any problem. They're like even the Horde. I don't see the Horde complaining too much about world PvP. Quite the opposite, actually. I've seen a bunch of threads on the DBA Delete forum about how people actually from the Horde have super cool interactions with the Alliance and back and forth, and it's happening all the time. And you know, I love this environment, and that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to promote those videos, is to show people that you can actually do it yourself. You don't have to ask Blizzard. You know, we should realize that we are much stronger than that. We can, you know, it's gonna be a great test for us to do that. Like we can still maintain this environment of like a friendly little town.
Yeah,
even there will be more people around us.
Definitely, and also rolling into I don't regret rolling into an RP server at all, because my initial plan was with my friend to play in a PvP server, but he wanted an RP server, so I'm like, and then we saw this server, Grabulous PvP RP. So it's like, since we played in Argent Dawn and we had fun, we had a full blast in that server. It's because it's a full RP server. We wanted to kind of recreate our experience after we created our characters. So, like, we've never regretted it ever since, and it's kind of been the same kind of immersive RP experience from when we used to play at the Argent Dawn server.
Also think about that. Like, what kind of name is, like, another problem about Grobulus? What kind of name is Grobulus? Like, it's so like it's like you blurping. It's like you throwing up. Grobulus name. Like, I was so excited to see the RP PvP service announced, and when I saw Grobulus being announced, I'm like, what the hell, Blizzard? Like out of all the names in Classic, I saw it right away. Whiteman is going to be the most popular server, because everyone knows about Whiteman, like about this character. Herod and other server names, they're so terrible. Like, I get it. They try to make this references to the Scarlet Monastery, but man, this Scarlet Monastery names, they are awful. They are awful. Other than the Whiteman, other than every single one of them was awful. And there we go. I remember the first day when the name reservation was open, Whiteman was already full. Like, and the servers, they were like medium, and then they all became full. But Grobulus is just such an awful name, and I'm so glad that DV deleted. At least you can tell this name, and you can say that, like, yeah, I'm playing on this DV delete server, and it sounds cool. Like, at least it sounds nice.
It's funny because my friend doesn't like the name Deviate Delete. He likes Grabulous because it sounds so, like, manly and it sounds kind of ridiculous, and like it sounds hard. But I'm like, I don't really care about the name that much, because what Blizzard tries to do is they just grab random stuff from character names, Grabulous from Naxxramas, and all this characters that they just kind of put together. It's not even like remotely, like, I mean, it's important to somebody, I understand, but for me, it's not.
But that's the thing, is that let's say 50% are gonna don't care about the name, and the other 50 gonna do care about the name. It's still gonna affect the population a lot, the server population. And it's still gonna affect how the people talk about each other, and how they invite on certain servers. And I'm thinking, like, if someone plays on Whiteman, it's like, okay, I'm playing on Whiteman. Fairlina, but Grobulus, I don't know. It's
yeah, you're right. Because the way in the conversation go, you say Deviate Delight, and it falls pretty nice in your with your tongue, and when you're pronouncing it, and it sounds pretty legit as far as because Deviate Delight, it sounds like it's an RP server, like it has that RP tone to it. But if you say Grobulous, but it's more like a hardcore PvP.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, you can see RP PvP. You can see RP next to it, but Grobulus, you don't really feel like there is any RP there. But again, Grobulus has once it got announced, a bunch of guilds, role-playing guilds from the retail, they announced that they're gonna be on Grobulus, especially Emerald Dream. So I used to. Ever back since Cataclysm, I was on Emerald Dream. So Emerald Dream was like my main server, which was RP PvP. I mean, which is still RP PvP, but I'm not playing retail anymore with. So So Grobulus is still, like, don't underestimate them. They still have a huge RP element in them. But
I love that one guy who creates these videos. He's in Grobulus. What the hell's his name? I forgot.
Maybe Barney.
Yes, him. Dude, he's so fun to watch, man.
Yeah, Barney is for sure on Grobulus, but
and his videos are like really well edited. Same as Shore's. And what's the process on that? Like, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how do you interact with players to kind of start getting your videos, and what programs do you use?
I'm really trying to make specifically for the videos, there are always some philosophical topics that I want to talk about, and I want to have interesting footage behind it. So I've noticed there's a bunch of YouTubers who do this. They just put some random, I don't know, farming, like Zofrak farming, and they just talk over Zofrak farming, and I find it super boring. Like what I usually do is that I record super interesting moments, like when super clutch, out of the hours and hours of playing WoW Classic, some super cool moments, and I'm trying to put them all together and put some philosophical topic on top of it. So this way you're gonna be listening and either agreeing or disagreeing with me on the philosophical topic on like community and WoW Classic in general, and at the same time, it's gonna be interesting to just watch the videos because there's always some interesting shit going on in the background.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's what I'm, and that is why when I do videos, I'm just trying to find first thing first. I'm trying to find a topic. Then I'm just like working on script a little bit to make sure that my points they sound. So this way I don't waste the time of my listener of my viewer. I'm trying to make them super short. So actually, out of the whole recording, maybe like 20 minutes recording, I usually leave like 3 to 5 minutes. So I filter out a lot of the context. So this way people don't feel like they waste any time watching my videos.
Yeah, especially the attention span of the genre, the generation of our people now, just kind of the younger people. They have like probably like 3 minutes, 5 minutes span.
That is so true, because that's what YouTube is actually pushing to. Is that to people are thinking about information nowadays as if like they want to get more. It doesn't matter what so much as the quality of information as much of the quantity of information, and they want to get as quickly as possible in a bunch of ways. So people don't want to waste their time. Secondary, they think about is this information useful or not. So I'm trying to get both. I'm trying to get both the very useful information, my thoughts. So this way there will be some conversation, whether I'm right or wrong, or whether we share the same opinion or we disagree. And then at the same time, I want to also make sure that it's entertaining and there is some background that shows some interesting, funny clips that you actually can smile and maybe even laugh a little.
Yeah, so you're into philosophy, huh? And yeah, this is how I correlate philosophy to a WoW Classic. Is the group of what you're looking for. This is within the guild, right? You're in a guild, and that's your group of people that you trust, that you come across, that you do stuff with. But if it doesn't work, if one person doesn't work out for that type of guild, then they find another guild. So it's basically like a different type of group of people that you are inside this one guild, and everybody is acting the same. Pretty much like in the real world, you have your own group, like your friends. You guys have the same interest on certain things. You just don't go out and meet up other people out there that you don't know, because the groups that you are in already, you trust each other. You guys are friends, and that's your group. And I think that's the essential beauty of this classic, is that you get to experience that in the game instead of just being out there in the reality where you'd have to interact physically, but which is not bad either. But in this game, you get to experience kind of the same thing, being in the group, interacting with other players out there. So I just kind of treat it like that, even though if it's people say that you're introvert.
But that's the thing. Is like there are two options. You can either treat it like that, or treat it like a game of random just players who you don't give a shit about. What I'm trying to do with the videos is that I'm trying to explain that there is another way. You can actually treat people like the players that you play with like a normal people that you play with. As you would have called up your friends, went to downtown and got a couple of drinks. You can treat the same people. There's no difference between us, like going out somewhere in getting some drinks in the bar, or like doing some paintball or skiing together, or doing some activities together, and doing activities in Classic WoW. It's the same thing.
Yeah, in one of your video, I think it's the promotional, the third one, when you had a bunch of gnomes follow you.
Uh-huh.
How did you like recruited them? How did you find them? Did you advertise it like on the Reddit or?
The same thing as the YouTube videos. The majority of the views actually comes from Reddit and Google search. But when it comes to this GNOME raid, it was actually mostly Reddit and then just the regular forum. I actually also talked to a bunch of people in the chats from different servers
Yeah.
to create a level 1 GNOME. So we had like 20 GNOMEs, which was pretty cool. But to Mulgore, I think we only had like 8 GNOMEs. Because, well, that's the thing, even though we got interrupted in the Strangleton Valley, there was this little horde group that tried to kill us. It still didn't matter,
Yeah, that's funny. I love that. I love that part.
We have super strong community. We can handle a bunch of that's how you get strong. That's how you get strong is when you actually get tested by those things. And even if someone tries to screw up your role play event, so what? Just go with the flow and try to adapt accordingly. You try to kill those assholes who try to interrupt it and continue the event.
So what level is your character now? The Kisa, right? That's
So right now I'm level 44.
Okay.
And I'm leveling up a bunch of different characters. In fact,
in the same server.
Yeah. So on DVD, like more.
Cool. And
is it your main, or do you have other characters as well?
I have a main, a level 60 main character. I raid with him and enjoy my time to just kind of hang out without having to worry about like interviews, and just sit down and relax. So, like we do it like every Friday, and I just raid from like 8 to 12 a.m.
Okay.
So I really like that part, especially like raiding. It's the first time I've been in Molten Core like a couple of months ago, and I was excited. I was really excited. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna raid, and I'm gonna enjoy this moment until something happens. Either I put extra time on the podcast and interview more people, or something else. Yeah, since BWL is coming out, we don't know what's gonna happen then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BWL is going to be interesting. I'm actually curious about.
Yes, definitely. It's they say it's a guild. What do you call it? Guild breaker. The BWL.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of how hard it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I was just. I remember back in Argent Dawn, when I transferred one of my servers into another. When I transferred one of my characters into another server. We couldn't down the first boss in BWL. It took us it was taking us too long. Like I think we're on the second month doing it. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's doing shit. So the guild master just kind of disbanded the guild, and he left the server. That moment right there was just like, well,
is it really harder than most of the MC and Elixir?
Yeah, it is, and I think it requires a lot of players to kind of do exactly what they need to do. One mess up on that, it's a wipe.
It's still going to be an interesting experience for me because I've never played Classic as a guild leader. So we're probably going to be doing our first MC somewhere in the mid-February. I've never done raiding in Classic, and I'm thinking, what's in Molten Core? There is only like a few super hard mechanics, right? Like the living bomb mechanic, right? That can wipe out.
That's
Anixia has the like the whelps, right? The whelps mechanic. That's just like a little annoying. Like that's the two that I know about, even though I haven't been in the race. So as far as I know, all other bosses in MC, they most like except like 2, they mostly just DPS. They like you just go through them like knife through butter. Like you don't.
Well, really depending on like your players, if they have a lot of experience, you'd probably get to Shazra. But to Baron Geddon, it requires a lot more like paying attention, unless all of you are like elite at that. It's as far as my experience and a couple of pugs, and one of my when I started raiding is we get stuck at Baron Geddon all the time. So that's probably what's gonna happen. I mean, from that point, it's not bad because you already you have five bosses down. Most of you would get gear from them, plus Onyxia Onyxia is pretty easy, so that's a guarantee right there. It's like maybe 2 or 3 wipes. And
the fact that apes done this as just a group of not even 6, the MC, and then they even had more trouble with Onyxia than they did with the Molten Core, which was really fun. So I don't think we have a lot of problems.
So are you just gonna power level your druid then, or are you gonna kind of take it easy on the leveling and kind of just?
There is a chance that I might get my mage to level, because he's level 30 and my druid is level 44. Okay. But as a mage, it's so much quicker to level up because you can just kill anything.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like it because so we actually might even have something like a rule that everyone needs to have a mage alt because it's so insane to get you can get so much gold from farming Zedep as a mage, just farming anything. There are so many farm zones, and there's no other class that can farm as much gold as mage does. So. And I'm thinking to level up mage first and then druid, but we'll see what's gonna happen. I like druid as a class a lot. It's just a lot of people are complaining about this class because technically druid is like 75% of an average healer, 75% of an average DPS, and even I think it's 50% of average DPS, and 75. Well, tanking is good. Like tank can be good as a druid, but other than that. Druid is like the slightly worst version of another class of everything, but it can be any other class. It can be melee DPS, it can be range DPS, it can be tank, it can be healer. Yeah, but I love it. But I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get my mage to level 60 first.
Okay, hold on. I'm being chased. Oh shit! Okay, never mind. I got away. Sorry.
You're doing world PvP or what are you doing?
Yeah, world PvP. I killed the druid level 45. He had like 5 people on him, 5 NPCs. This is what's so fun about it. It's like you wait being a rogue. I wait and kind of like it's an asshole move, but it's.
So you killed
sorry about
the person who was under attack of a bunch of mobs.
Yeah, he had. I was waiting for him too. He was kind of getting aggressive. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna die, and he had like 20% health, and a few more mobs tried to attack him, but he tried to run, so I just stunned him and ran away. So anyway, this other rogue came behind me to try to help him, but I got away. I was even out of flash powder for my vanish, so I just ran and used my gnomish rocket boots. So that was pretty cool, man. And yeah, this has been really fun, man.
Yes, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's insane like how this turned out. But yeah, I don't want to hold you up into your stuff. It's kind of pretty late, so.
Good times, man.
Yeah, thanks for doing this again, man. Have a good night.